All right, Bill.
Okay.
What's going on, people? Welcome to the earlier online segment than originally intended, I'm sure. My name's danspence94. I'm a Devil May Cry speedrunner. I speedrun 1, 2, 3, and 5. I've got my trusty commentator with me, out with a Yang. Yang, say hi.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Yang's going to be doing a lot of the talking on this run, mainly because there's a lot going on. We're doing all collectibles, which I like to call the 90% category, as you will. The 100% category has us doing like every S rank in the game for every mission and buying everything in the shop. But all collectibles, we don't have to get every S rank. We don't have to buy everything in the shop either. We're going to be doing it with the normal Dante costume on the normal difficulty. It's a longish run, so I'm going to shut up and get on with it and let Yang talk you through most of it. So if the guys in the background are ready, I'm going to give you a countdown from 5, and then we're going to jump straight into it. So we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry. All right. So all collectibles, what you do in this category is you collect every blue orb, which are the health upgrades you can find throughout the game. And then you do all 12 of the secret missions, which can be really hard to find if you don't know exactly where they are. And you collect all the weapons, because in normal any percent, you would only pick up the grenade gun as your optional weapon, like of the optional weapons.
Mm.
But here we're going to collect them all. And now you can see Dan coming up into the castle, start of mission 1. And there's not a whole lot to go on yet. We're
So
gonna come up.
already we are
Oh,
grabbing our second blue orb fragment here. We need 4 blue orb fragments. 4 blue orb fragments gives us an extra blue orb, which gives us extra health. It's a bit hard to tell how much health you actually have in Devil May Cry 1. They made it a lot easier from 3 onwards because they're kind of like little blocks, whereas in 1 and 2 they're just bars. There'd be a lot of times I'd pick a blue orb up thinking I'd literally got like no extra health because of how it worked.
here we have Dan. He's gonna navigate the castle, jumping. Jumping is faster than running in this game, so until he gets Stinger, he's probably gonna jump quite a bit.
Another thing to
Nice
note
little.
is that Devil May Cry 1 was actually meant to be Resident Evil 4, believe it or not. You've probably heard that a million times already. Which is why there's a lot more horror elements in Devil May Cry 1 when compared to other Devil May Cry games, and a lot more like grabbing key item to key item, that kind of thing.
Tends to be a little less action based than the later games, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice, and I don't know, it's got a nice appeal to the game. That's why we love it.
Here comes the jump that always gets us, because we have to jump on this biplane, and your biggest enemy in this game is going to be the camera angle, because fixed camera
Yeah.
angles in a stylish action game, who would have thought it? It doesn't really work. And platforming as well, which we'll come into a bit later on.
Now we're going down into the basement here. This is the first big encounter of the game. And you really want to try to do it damageless. It's for all collectibles. You want to get very specific ranks, at least for the first several missions, if you want the proper orb route. So the better your rank at the end of the mission, the more orbs you're going to get. And that's like the biggest part of the early run, is getting the orbs you need. So you really want the S rank on this mission. And no reds, it looked like.
Yeah, every enemy in there is RNG as well, and if we get red ones, we can be down there for a good chunk of time.
Yeah. There's a lot of RNG in this game. A lot of rooms have set spawns, but a lot of them have random enemies. And also, each enemy can have a random amount of life. So you never really know, even if it's like the same red puppet, it could just sometimes have twice as much life as other times. It's very odd. You never really know until you start hacking away.
A technique that you'll
Dan did
see
a
me
really
do
good
there
shot.
as well is it's called we tap the button twice to do like a double slash, and then we spin the left analog stick in a circle, which then negates the recovery animation of Dante basically putting the sword back in its place, which lets us keep doing it over and over. It's going to come in handy on a lot of fights.
Yeah, it's really nice because the first 2 hits don't have a knockback. The first 2 hits of your combo, and a lot of enemies just react really badly when you hit them with a knockback strike, like Stinger or the combo finisher. So you can kind of just stun lock a lot of enemies by just repeatedly slash canceling.
A few bosses can also
See
be
us.
stun locked that way as well.
Oh yeah, we'll see that against Nello Angelo in a couple missions.
But right now, we've just picked up our first weapon of the game, Alistair. It's a lightning-based sword, and it also gives us access to our Devil Trigger, or as it was known in Devil May Cry 1, our magic meter, because Devil Trigger wasn't really like a main staple kind of thing in Devil May Cry 1. It kind of didn't come really into its own thing until Devil May Cry 3, I would say.
Yeah, they kind of just awkwardly use the word magic a lot.
Yeah.
Like, even in terms of his normal devil weapons, just magical. But, and now this fight's super important. You want to do this damageless at all costs. And these enemies, the RNG on these enemies, can be really annoying. So ideally, you want to double jump off of them and then do a Helm Breaker to instantly kill them. But they can just parry all day sometimes and just rob you of the kill. And then even when you do kill them, their scissors can still fall down and hit you. And if you take a single hit on this mission, you lose the S rank.
Yeah. This mission is paramount to be done damageless. And I also grabbed my second weapon there is the shotgun. That's just hiding in a table for some reason.
And that's one thing to address is different missions have different requirements for the S rank. So on some of them you can take damage. It depends on speed, how many orbs you collect, and how much damage you take. And since you barely collect any orbs in that mission, you have to do a damageless to get the S. And now we can finally do Stinger movement, which is the fastest normal Dante movement in the game.
Yeah, there's four forms of movement, which is running, jump running, Stinger 2, and then Vortex 2. 2 of which are moves that we have to actually buy later on in the game.
Yeah. Vortex is the fastest movement, but it consumes your Devil Trigger, so it's kind of limited on where you can use it.
And it's the moment everyone's been waiting for. the main staple of Devil May Cry 1, where a lot of players probably maybe not quit on the game, or at least they quit for a little bit. It's our first boss
I personally watch a lot of like first playthroughs of this game, and so many people struggle on Phantom, and I wish they could kind of just see the perfect Phantom fight, like just 4 hits and he's down. Nope, he didn't give good batting.
Yeah, Phantom's opening move can be RNG. So the technique there is he's got a weak spot on essentially his butt, where his tail comes up. So by enemy stepping off of his butt or by double jumping off his back, we can activate the double jump critical bonus and then Devil Trigger as well. Basically, our damage is multiplied by like 8 times rather than just the standard 2. You can actually kill him doing it that way in 4 swipes, 4 Helm Breakers. Unfortunately, his pattern went a little bit off the rails there, so we had to do it a couple of extra times. And then we go on forward to our first secret mission, which is called Critical Hit. And whilst I'm waiting for this to come down, I'll let Yang explain what we've got to do here.
So we're going to see another of those Sin Scissors that we saw in Mission 2, and the objective here is to critical hit it, clearly. You have to parry his scissors as he's about to attack, then run up and just pop a quick one in his face. like right in his face, and he instantly dies, drops some orbs. It's pretty satisfying.
You'll know you
He
always get the
can,
critical hit as well, because in the top corner where you get your stylish ranking, it will always automatically jump to a C.
yeah. And that secret mission can be a nightmare sometimes. It's like he can do a quick recovery, but and recover before you can shoot him. Or sometimes he just like does this weird circling and back away thing and won't attack you. So it's a lot of free time loss when you're not getting lucky. And there you see a special bonus, which is perfect. We get a couple of those throughout the mission. It's basically when you go above and beyond the requirements for an S rank, you get a special bonus, which is just 2,000 extra orbs flat, which is huge. And there you see him just bypassing Secret Mission 1 by using a Holy Water, which is another very satisfying strategy. Just zooming along.
Next kind of enemy here, which is a Shadow.
Yeah.
Very erratic, very dangerous. So you have to shoot it enough times to reveal the core. Doing this in Devil Trigger obviously makes it quicker. Once the core is revealed, you can then stinger into it. The first Shadow you fight is actually weaker than the rest of the ones that you'll fight later on in the game. The first one you can take out with one stinger in Devil Trigger, the rest you got to do 2. Not quite sure why. I think it's just to kind of like tell you how to beat them kind of thing. It's kind of like a tutorial. And then Secret Mission 3, exactly the same as Secret Mission 2, except we can't use any weapons or attacks.
Yeah, so you basically just run over them, squash them with your boots. Which is also harder than like a lot harder than you would think sometimes if you don't get them immediately when they're still clumped up. But Dan got it right away because he's the boss. And now we're going into Secret Mission 4. There's 3 secret missions. Like 1/4 of the secret missions in the game are in this one mission. And this one's really hairy because you literally only get one chance to do it. All the others you can just re-enter and retry if you fail. So hopefully Dan has like a safety save here, because this one is really sketchy. You have to fight 3 shadows all at once. Let's just pop in 2 holy waters. Okay. Very well done.
So by popping the 2 holy waters, we instantly kill all 3 shadows, and it makes it a lot easier than how we used to do it. Also, I think I can see in the chat that we're having some technical difficulties. So let me just check on my stream real quick. Can I see any drop frames on my end? I'm not sure if it's bad for the stream on the other end. Seems we're having some trouble with the
It's a bit worse than a stutter.
with the feed here at the moment, so not quite sure. I'm being tagged, I think. Yeah, we'll continue onwards, and then hopefully it will sort itself out in the back. I'll say we don't want to delay things any more than we have to.
So with that secret mission done, we're gonna go up to the top of the stairs and finally actually finish this mission. It's gonna be our next new boss, Nello Angelo.
Yeah, the feed that I can see on stream it's really buffering. I'm not sure if you guys want me to stop at any point. Tell you what, I'll stop after the end of this mission, and then we'll have a look. But like we said before, slash cancelling 4 times on Nello, plus the holy water, and that's the second boss easily finished. So I've been told to reduce my stream bit rate, so hold on. So I'll put that down to 3000. Just give that a second for it to come through. Everything is green from what I can see on my side, so hopefully we can get this sorted for you guys. Do apologise. Seems my camera's on.
Okay. Yeah. Can do. Yep. All good. goes. Hmm. It's a really handy trick if you ever want to play this game. It's probably the most optimal way to fight them. Oh. Yeah, a lot of enemies. First try, come on, Dan. That jump's very hard. I've lost like over a minute to that jump before. It's maybe even pixel perfect, I'm not sure. Dan is super good at it though. And apart from that, I believe the game actually just shares assets with Resident Evil 4, like quite a bit of them. You will see quite a bit of holy waters in this run. Anyone who has seen a Devil May Cry speedrun knows that they are quite overpowered on normal difficulty, and they are very cheap. So you just buy them, max out your stock. Anything that gives you like more than 2 hits worth of trouble, just holy water. 110.
No, because I'm not. Again, I'm not recording the call. What you can have here.
Are you planning on doing Secret Mission 7 or Secret Mission 5 while you're here, or are you gonna come back? Okay. So you have these enemies, big spiders, kind of reskins of Phantom that we saw earlier. And for this secret mission to be a success, you have to get one of them to kill the other without doing any damage to either of them. And the only attack they have that can actually do friendly fire is that boulder spitting attack. So you kind of just have to hope they do it, and then position yourself where when they try to shoot you, you can jump out of the way and the boulders will hit the other. And keep in mind, throughout this entire secret mission, we have a key item that's constantly draining our health. And it's quite scary. Ideally, you want to have double jump. There, Dan got it. Ooh, Vital Star. Okay. Oh, that was scary. But, alright, so Dan got it. Ooh, that was scary. I mean, death's not the end of the world. You can do low percent Phantom too, right? beautiful. And yeah, we're grabbing these orb caches to get the special bonus. To meet the orb requirement we need on the mission to get the special bonus. Because as Dan said, he's quite a bit below his desired quota right now. So it's a good safety net for a marathon. And you gonna buy air hike for quick, Afraid? Yeah. Yep. It's worth knowing where all those statues are too. Isn't that right, Dan? Um, Shout out to oh, got another big freeze. Well, now it's completely frozen visually. Okay. Oh, there we're back. Cool. Here we have Dan doing forest fight. Yeah. And we are back. It's gone back to being a little choppy though, I think. Here we are going into mission 10. Mission 2. Oh. It's quite unfortunate. Do you have your splits open on the side by any chance? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this mission's a meme, honestly. Even when you do everything right, sometimes it just glitches out. You have to follow this light and kind of intentionally try to guide it down a path. So it will go into an enemy, and then you're supposed to kill the enemies. And after you've killed 3 enemies that the light's gone towards, it'll go randomly to one of the 2 paths. Or you can just kind of direct it by stingering that puppet into the first archway and have it just go right to the arch. And then you quickly dispose of it through scissors. Oh. You're doing disease. Mission. Damn it. Yeah. It's fine. And there's quite a few frugal backup strats nowadays. People have done so much like labbing and testing to try to find ways to cut more holy waters out of the run. So if you know like all the backups, you can do this like very risk-free, honestly. Even if you have a terrible orb route. Very fast secret mission. Just double jump and you're done. Oh, moving along quite well. Boy, he's just bullying you. Just yep. We should be quite safe for orbs. So you did the secret mission, right? So you should get an S even with damage now. Yeah, that's another thing. Secret missions will give you a bonus to your rank. So it also helps getting with S ranks. Yep. And coming up next mission, we're gonna see Griffin for the 2nd time, but it's gonna be our first time fighting him. And hopefully Dan will nail this really cool, the Dizzy strat. Dizzy's another one of our runners. He's made a lot of reveals lately for this run. Karma is... let's see. I'd say more than that. Slick got it, then... Was it Maxi? I think it was Slick, then Moody, and then And then maybe Dizzy, then Maxi, then Dizzy, then Maxi, and then Karma. No, Karma got it one more time in that. It's been a ride, we'll say. As optimized as the game is, it's, I don't know, a lot of people still doing a lot of work on it. And we're doing some sick platforming here to get this pretty well hidden orb. The crow's nest thing. It's, I think, the only blue orb fragment you actually have to buy an upgrade to get in the whole game. Here we go. Okay, well done. You got it. Um, Apparently chat can't hear you. Yeah, that's what Bandhit is saying. Yeah, it's quite odd. Can yo, okay. Well, I don't have my video feed anymore. It's gone. Okay, I got it. Yeah, yeah. Continue. Well, let's. All right. My least favorite secret mission. All right. So now this is your mission step. You're underwater in this empty space. It's well, getting quite triggered by the this and you just have to kill 83 plates in water in a period of time. And it's kind of annoying. They move around a lot. They kind of have to try to pump out DPS, but they get iframes when they're shooting, basically. Like your shots hit each other in the air and you just don't deal damage. But you just kind of just keep chugging away. You'll get it. Personally, I prefer the spider mission over this one. I feel like this one is always time lost, no matter how good you feel like you did it. And that's the mission. Good job, Dan. Yep. Ooh. Yeah. So you're quite distracted. It's fine for almost missing this one. Now, you're not gonna do the save and quit shenanigans. I take it. Okay. So what you can do there is instead of backtracking after the mission, you can save the game, quit out and restart. And when you restart a mission, it'll take you to like the default starting point of the mission. So whenever you have to backtrack super far, you can just do that to skip right back to the beginning instead of then having to backtrack where you already backtracked through. Here we have Dan getting one of the few free holy waters in the game. And he's finally going to buy Vortex 2, which is the best and most fastest movement option in the game. Or did, oh yeah, you bought it. Okay. You're too fast for the stutter. And here we have this very normal hallway. It's not at all a spike trap. Right out of Crash Bandicoot. Uh, See, it's very satisfying. So one of the great things about Vortex is you have like 100% iframes whenever you're using it. Plus you move really fast. So especially like in Super Dante runs, when you have infinite double trigger, it's very handy. You can just cheese your way through anything. And there we have a nice stinger jump, which is not too precise, but you can mess up the positioning and not get it. A very nice vortex as well. Now, after this mission, we're gonna have to do probably the longest backtrack in the game for any secret mission. How anyone is supposed to casually find the secret mission, I don't know. So you have to go back almost an entire mission worth and then examine a random wall. And that's how you find it. And once again, ooh, ow. There we go. Yeah, I really like that vortex that you've started doing there. Yeah, I saw you try to do that in our race a couple months ago, but you kind of got blocked a little. Okay, and once again, we are going to fight three shadows, only this time it's in very close quarters and with a spike trap all around us. But we're going to do it pretty much the same way as before. We're just going to pop two quick holy waters, cheese our way through it. The holy water is hitting the two other shadows that are on the other side of the wall. And the blue orbs fragment spawns out of whichever one dies last, which is normally the one right next to you. But sometimes it can be one of the other ones, and you'll have to run around and try to find it. Luckily, we got the good spawn here, and we can just save and quit out and reload, and we're right back at the beginning again. Very convenient. And there you're seeing more of that vortex movement. It's very satisfying. Like I've been running a lot of Devil May Cry 3 lately, and I had to do a run last night just because I missed vortex movement so much. It's very fun. There we have a blue orb in the holy water. And now these two paths are kind of weird because whichever one you go down first will have the key item you need to proceed. But since there's a blue orb halfway down that path, we go down that one first, but we don't actually go to the end. And then we go to the other door. Because on this one, there's a blue orb fragment that spawns at the very end of it. And this way, you know, we kind of just, because we have to get all the blue orbs, this is just the most efficient way. Have to activate these switches. Vortex is just great as well. It activates switches really quickly. Here, we'll have to take a few tries to spawn the... Okay, there we go. You have to do a weird double jump to spawn that fragment, like right under the platform. It's another one that must be really hard to find casually. They really wanted you to buy the game guide for this game. There we go. And we're free to go fight Griffin. Are you going to do the pseudo Cosmo climb strat? I know, but I wanted to know beforehand, so I knew what to commentate. So there's a blue orb fragment in this next arena, and the safe way to get it is to get it before the fight, because the fight doesn't spawn until you actually stand on the middle platform. But there's a really riskier strat and a lot flashier that you can do as well. Dan's not going for it though. We've had enough bad luck this run. Let's not push it, I guess. And now in this fight, it can be not the untouchable Dan. There we go. This fight is really weird because Griffin has these weird damage gates. So like if you were to use another holy water right now, it would barely like do any damage. You have to knock him into phase 2. So you do one holy water and then just shoot him with like random pot shots, and now you're free to holy water him to death. And it's quite a confusing fight for a lot of people casually, but it's really easy when you know what you're doing. And this is the end of mission 15, so we're about 2/3 of the way through the game now. We're about to enter the Nightmare arc, which is like the spookiest arc. There we go. Get that blue orb. Now this next secret mission is generally pretty easy, but if you mess it up the first time, it can be a nightmare to recover because of the camera, which, as Dan said earlier, is the real boss of the game. And we'll see. Oh, perfect. Okay. So the trick is to enemy step, because like in this game you get like one air hike, one double jump per jump. So you have to do it with enemy steps up until the last one and then use your air hike to get it then, which is quite tricky. Can be quite tricky. And you see Dan there shooting enemies to regain his double trigger, because so much of this run is managing your double trigger, mostly using it for movement. And because it's like this weird balance where you want it for bosses, but also like, you know, it's a speed run, so that you want it to be the most optimal movement as well. So DT running upstairs and vortexing wherever you can. Now we're gonna meet the plasma, which is not going to troll Dan. Lucky for him. So those plasmas can just evade attacks whenever they want. And then it becomes quite a nightmare. You lose like 5-10 seconds to those. And that's another mechanic a lot of people don't seem to realize, is taunting gives you double trigger in this game. And that's very useful because it's like 2 whole runes normally. And that's quite a bit to recover so quickly. It's because double trigger, it's so easy in this and Devil May Cry 1 to regain it, and it's so powerful. And here we are in the Nightmare Arena. And so the Nightmare is actually a 100% consistent boss. If you know like what his patterns are, you can just predict perfectly what he's going to do. And the quick kill on him is to do 5 fully charged punches on his back core, a 6th uncharged punch, and then pop a holy water, which Dan does perfectly. And now we are backtracking one last time to Secret Mission 10, where this time we will fight 4 shadows, not 3. And here you want to only aggro one of them at a time. Try to bait out its skewer attack so that you can land its critical hit. He's not being very cooperative. Oh, there he goes. See, one of the issues with shadows is when you're fighting more than one, it can be a nightmare to try to bait out that attack. Oh, there we go. So that's the first 2 down. The other 2, because this is basically a hide and seek mission. Oh, he's not down. You have to kind of just search for them. And the other 2 will be one-on-one fights, so they'll be a lot easier to deal with. And here you see Dan like actually letting himself get grabbed, because that can be faster than waiting for them to randomly blow up. And here you just DT and fire away. Nice and quick. Oh, he's not gonna let himself get grabbed this time. And then the last one is up here in this little nook where we found a blue orb earlier, right at the start. And there we go. And once that one's finished dying, it will give us our orb. Well done, Dan. And now we're free to proceed, which is an unfortunate amount of backtracking we have to do again. There we go. We have to build double trigger before we leave this room, because you need it to vortex across this bridge. And you can cross the bridge without the vortex, but it is not a good thing if you fail it. You have to fight an extra fight. It's not a very fun time. And there we go. Ooh, very nice. Dan did so well. He got an additional special bonus. That's one we don't normally try or plan for getting. And now we're in mission 17, heading into the last secret mission, the second to last secret mission, where we have to get this random orb fragment that's floating in the sky. And also there's a death scythe here. And the intended way to get this fragment is pretty much impossible, so we're just gonna vortex to it using this nifty strat with an untouchable, which untouchables are a very high class item that give you infinite double trigger and make you like basically immortal when you're using it. But since we used all our double trigger crossing the bridge the first time, the untouchable gave us our double trigger back to vortex back over it very quickly. It's just a nifty little strategy. And here we're going to meet frosts for the first time, which are kind of like blades, only a lot tankier. They take 2 whole holy waters to kill. And it's worth it to holy water them because it's, again, it can be quite a nightmare to try to fight them straight up. Now this is quite a long mission. You have to do a secret mission, fight frosts, do a little puzzle here with a dragon, and then top it off with the boss fight. Ooh. You got it down. So you have this dragon that you have to smack back 3 of its fireballs. Yes, it's a dragon, it's not a T-Rex. Yeah. The stream kind of... Okay, it's back now. The stream didn't like the dragon. Oh yeah. All those polygons really put it to its limits. Now once you beat the dragon, you can twirl this mirror. One sec. And now finally we can get the key item to go and fight the boss. And witness the nice big reveal that he has for us. Okay. And the big spoiler for anyone who has never played the Devil May Cry, Nilo Angelo is in fact our brother all along. And we're just not even going to try to talk to him. We're just going to holy water him 3 times and kill him. Yeah. Just give him a nice bath. Wash that darkness off of him. And now we have the most useless weapon of the game, Sparta, which does technically deal very high base damage. Its base damage is as strong as Alistair's double trigger damage, but it doesn't have a double trigger of its own, so we kind of just don't use it. And also, like, a lot of utility moves don't work with it. Like, you don't have air hike with it either. It's quite odd and very, very unfortunate. Yeah, Stinger and round trip. It is very cool that it transforms. That's a nice visual gimmick. It's more exciting than it actually is, though. And then we have our last water combat of the game. Looks like Dan took a hit. That's a little unfortunate. It doesn't really matter, though, does it? Now we're on. Okay. And now we don't have to swim anymore for the rest of the game. Which is quite nice. No one likes swimming in this game. It's from a very awkward time period where just every game for some reason has a water level. Like, game developers thought it was necessary. And here we are. We're about to fight Nightmare number 2, which is the exact same strategy as Nightmare 1. And part of the gimmick of this boss, if you'll notice when its back core opens, it's green this time. That's because the damage you do to each individual core carries over between fights. And the more you break a certain core, the less damage he takes. So if you like manage to break a core all the way down to red in the first 2 fights, you're gonna have a really hard time in the 3rd fight because he takes almost no damage from red cores. But Dan gets the quick kill again because it's quite simple to get the quick kill, honestly, once you've practiced it. Especially in the 2nd fight, I find. And we are starting to wrap up here. There's really only 2 or 3 bosses you could say left. The next 2 missions are quite quick. Just run down these stairs. Now in this mission, we're going to pick up the last 3 blue orbs of the run. The last 3 blue orb fragments, I should say. There's one more full blue orb later. But if you missed any throughout the run, this is where you'll notice it. And oh, this one's quite tricky. The trigger to spawn one of the blue orbs is you have to fall off this ledge, which is like a really obscure trigger. But the ideal way to do it is to also... Oh wow, the stream just jumped forward like 20 seconds. Like 1 second you're grabbing a blue orb and now you're holy watering nobodies. Oh. And there we got a glimpse of Dan struggling with the jump, which is just as hard the second time as it is the first time. And there we have it. That's all the blue orbs. We got them all. All that's left is to backtrack once more into the main castle, where we're gonna fight Nightmare one more time. All right. And we have this really cool vortex strategy, where as soon as the mission starts, you just activate vortex and fly through this path. No need to fall to the ground or jump at all. And just bypass the frost right into the nightmare fight. And this is the one nightmare that is different to fight because he does have a phase 2. So instead of 6 hits, you only do 4, and then you pop a holy water. And then we have this fun cutscene where Trish betrays us. It turns out she was working for Mundus all along. And now we have phase 2, where all we have to do is bait out one more attack from Nightmare, and then pop one more holy water, and it's done. Very simple. Now we go into the final secret mission, which is kind of interesting. It's the only secret mission where the ultimate goal isn't to get a blue orb fragment, it's to get a unique accessory called the Bangle of Time, which basically lets you freeze time, although it consumes your devil trigger. It's a really cool item, but it's like a big shame that it comes right at the end of the game, because there's only like 2 more rooms that have enemies in this mission, like once you get the Bangle. So you never really get a chance to use it, because of course the final boss is immune to it. But you can play with it in New Game Plus. And here, yep. And here we're gonna have this really cool trick that hopefully the stream will actually show, where you will use Vortex, the unique property of Vortex 2, to lock onto an enemy. And you will stand below the enemy at a certain spot so that the angle of your Vortex will carry you up past all the platforming segments right to your objective. And this one is actually, oh, the stream didn't show it. It's very cool though. It's one, yeah, yeah. It's the coolest trick of the run, I would say. There's one more at the end of the mission that hopefully we'll get to see properly. But it's very cool. It saves probably like 2 minutes in that secret mission, because normally you have to fight like a dragon, and then after that a couple of frosts spawn, and then after that it spawns like these really slow-moving platforms that you have to ride up. So just vortexing straight to the top is a huge time save. And also really satisfying, because honestly, frosts are not fun to fight. They're very tanky and don't stagger well. And here in these living caves, we just fight 3 more nobodies, one at a time, then proceed, always taking the left path. Sometimes there's a path on the right, we just ignore it. And then we will end up in this big lava room, where we will have our last potential Cosmo climb. We'll see. Time to climb Muckasteer. Come on. Nope, it didn't show it. Unfortunate. We're right to the end of the mission now. Alright, now we're going into the final climactic boss fight. Finally gonna fight Mundus, who has been the source of all our pain and suffering so far. Oh. And the strategy against Mundus is very simple. So you have this special attack during this fight, where in exchange for your double trigger, you can just fire out a big dragon that deals a buttload of damage. So you just spam holy waters, or not holy, you spam vital, or no, you spam devil stars to refill your gauge, and just spam dragons. It takes 3 dragons if you have 8 gauges to kill them. So it does more damage the more gauges you use. And then right after that, you have a phase 2, where all you do is simply just jump in the lava. The lava doesn't kill you. It'll drop you to 1 HP, but it doesn't kill you. And you just smack away for days. It's a really simple, fast fight. It just goes down like a brick. And then you have your final mission, the typical Capcom escape. You have 5 minutes to escape the island. Oh. There we go. We're just vortexing along. We're getting out of here. 1 platform away from leaving hell and being in the normal castle. Smash that, pop it up just to build a bit of quick DT. Okay. And now we have one last fight against Mundus, as many people in the community have started to call him Spaghettio Mundus. So he gets very grabby. A lot of awkward lava textures. The strategy for him, oh yeah, lots of still frame jiffix. But yeah, you just vortex into him and he dies. He has like maybe a third the health of the actual boss. It's meant to be just like a quick victory lap boss. Very easy. And then you gotta, and now we're doing there's end time, apparently. Here we have a final plane escape sequence. Very Res 4-ish, even though this came out like 3 years before Res 4. Res 4 is Devil May Cry-ish, we'll say. And yeah, there's the end of the game. All those shenanigans, still underestimate. GG. Just to see the final IGT there, 5611. Yes. Okay. Well, I'll call that a successful run.